Hi friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Agricultural Engineering. Now we are going to see evapotranspiration. Transpiration consists of the vaporization of liquid water contained in plant tissues and the vapor removal to the atmosphere. So evapotranspiration is evaporation and transpiration occur simultaneously, and there is no easy way of distinguishing between the two processes. So what are the measurements of evapotranspiration? Lysimeter, field experimental plots, soil moisture depletion studies, and water balance method. So as we seen earlier, lysimeter is used for measurement of evaporation and as well as evapotranspiration. Then field measurement plots, soil moisture depletion studies, and water balance equation. So determination of evapotranspiration. There are some different methods: Blanley-Cradle method, Thornthwaite method, then Hargreaves method. So Blanley-Cradle method, there is some formula, you should remember this formula. Then Thornthwaite method, then Hargreaves method. So you should know the potential evapotranspiration method. Then FAO Penman-Monteith method is used to estimate reference evapotranspiration. Remember this name. Then infiltration process is when water is applied to the surface of soil, a part of it seeps into the soil. This movement of water through the soil surface is known as infiltration. Then these are the factors affecting infiltration rate. Then how we can measure infiltration? Flooding type infiltrometer. With the help of infiltrometer we can measure infiltration. Then rainfall simulator, infiltration indices. Psi index is the average rainfall above which the rainfall volume is equal to the runoff volume. Remember this. Then W index. In an attempt to refine the psi index, the initial losses are separated from the total abstraction, and an average value of infiltration rate called the W index is defined as, this is formula: P is precipitation, R is total storm runoff, then IA is initial losses. Then IA values are difficult to obtain the accurate estimation of the W index. These are two indexes. Then types of geomorphology of watersheds. And what are different types of watershed? So watershed is defined as any portion of the earth's surface within a physical boundary defined by topographic slopes that divert all runoff to the same drainage outlet. So classification of watershed: small watershed, medium, large. Then you can see here one more classification of watershed. You just remember these values. Then classification of watershed by land use: urban watershed, agriculture watershed. As per use, these watersheds are classified. Then physical characteristics of watershed: watershed shape, then form factor is watershed area divided by watershed length square. Then shape factor, watershed length square divided by watershed area. Elongation ratio, diameter of circle of watershed area divided by watershed length. Then circulatory ratio, watershed area divided by area of circle of watershed perimeter. Then compactness coefficient, watershed perimeter divided by perimeter of circle of watershed area. Now in this case, watershed slope, basin slope is defined by H by L. Then watershed centroid, watershed length. Watershed length is expressed in the kilometer and area is in kilometer square. Then channel characteristics of watershed: number of channel, channel length, channel area, channel profile, channel slope. Then law of stream slope. Then drainage density is length of drainage per unit area. Then length of overland flow. Then in case of runoff, components of runoff and factors affecting runoff: direct runoff, base flow. Then precipitation characteristics: duration, intensity, and areal distribution, shape and size of catchment area. Now here you can see fan shaped catchments give greater runoff because tributaries are nearly of same size, and hence time of concentration of runoff is nearly same. On the contrary, the overfund lift arrangement of tributaries are distributed over long period because of the different length of tributaries. Then topography, meteorological characteristics. Then estimation of runoffs. These are some methods for estimation of runoff. So famous method is rational method. And time of concentration. What is meant by time of concentration? What is meant by rainfall intensity? What is meant by runoff coefficient? You should know the definition of each of these. Then another is Cook's method. Cook used a different approach to estimate the runoff from small agriculture areas. Means there is chance they will ask dash method is used for estimation of runoff. Then you have to choose the proper option. Then SCS curve method, soil conservation service. SCS stands for. Then in this there are some formulas. What is meant by curve number, and what are the groups? Different groups: group A soil, group B soil, group C soil, and group D soil. Then antecedent moisture content, AMC, refers to the water content present in the soil at a given time. Then estimation of curve number, you should remember what is meant by curve number. Then how to measure the runoff. So non-recording stream gauges are there, then crest stage gauges are there, then recording stream gauges are there, the float type, and the bubble gauge or manometer servo water level sensor. You can see the image of these types of rain gauges. Then reverse stage data. Hydrograph. The stage data are presented chronologically in time as a time series. Their plot means see reverse stage versus time is called as hydrograph. Then velocity distribution of water. Then estimation of mean channel velocity of floats. Then current meter. So remember this one, current meter are used to measure the velocity of flow in stream. Then there are different types of current meter. Then measurement of discharge velocity area station method. Then calculation of discharge moving boat method. Chemical gauging, ultrasonic method, indirect method. Rating curve. Rating curve is also called as rating curve, which is stage versus discharge. This is now hydrograph. Definition of hydrograph. Hydrograph which results due to an isolated storm is typically single peaked skew distribution of discharge and is known variously as storm hydrograph or flood hydrograph. What are the elements of hydrograph? Rising limb, then the crest, and the falling limb. So rising limb of hydrograph, also known as concentration curve, represent the increase in discharge due to gradual building up of storage in channel and over the catchment surface. Then crest segment is one of the most important parts of hydrograph as it contains the peak flow. Then recession limb, which extends from off point of inflection at the end of the crest segment to the commencement of the natural groundwater flow, represents the withdrawal of water from the storage built up in the basin during the earlier phase of the hydrograph. Then time of concentration, time from the beginning to the end of direct runoff. Then lag time, then time to peak, then rainfall duration. You should remember these definitions. Then base flow separation. There are different methods for base flow separations. So elemental hydrograph, then effective rainfall hydrograph, and one more. These are methods. Then unit hydrograph. A unit hydrograph is defined as the hydrograph of direct runoff resulting from 1 unit depth 1 centimeter of rainfall excess occurring uniformly over the basin and at a uniform rate for a specified duration. So this is unit hydrograph. Application of unit hydrograph you should know. This is somewhat practical part, so you just go theoretically, means what is the definition of unit hydrograph. Then these are different types of unit hydrograph. Synthetic unit hydrograph, Sinder's method. These are some methods to obtain this particular type of hydrograph, so no need to go in that much deep. Okay, so flood routing. What is meant by flood routing is the technique of determining the flood hydrograph at a section of a river by utilizing the data of flood flow at one or more upstream sections. So in this case, what is meant by flood routing definition is important. Then channel routing, the storage is a function of both outflow and inflow discharge. So you just remember the name. Now here see, Muskingum method of flood routing. So you should know the method and their use from exam point of view. Now drought management. So in this case, see, classification of droughts you should know. Again I am telling, this is important topic from exam point of view. What are different types of drought and how what is the definition of particular drought. So meteorological drought is defined usually on the basis of degree of dryness and the duration of dry period. Then agricultural drought links various characteristics of meteorological drought to agricultural impacts, focusing on precipitation storage, differences between actual and potential evapotranspiration. Then hydrological drought is associated with the effect of periods of precipitation shortfall on surface or subsurface water supply. Then socio-economic drought definition of drought associated with the supply and demand of socio-economic good with elements of meteorological, hydrological and agricultural drought. So these are some index for drought monitoring. Remember this index. Then drought management, how you can do drought management. So in this case only this topic is important, definition of each type of drought. And another one is what is full form of INCID, Indian National Commission on Irrigation and Drainage, you should remember. Okay, so we have covered this course, watershed hydrology. We will see with new course in upcoming lecture. Thank you for watching our video.